The media stirs up racial hatred. You know, what I was saying is, what I'm saying is, like a black friend of mine that I worked with as a janitor, he blamed the media for a lot of racial problems too, because he was a stock car racer and he had a lot of white friends. So the media came and interviewed him because he was the only black guy there, and they said they're looking to hear about his hardships and how he was discriminated against. And he said, "No, these guys are my friends, and we work on each other's cars." So they didn't report it, and they uh, they said, "Come on, you got to give us something." And I found out from a friend of mine, Virgil Gutierrez, there was a white guy who was killed in Texas by police, same manner as George Floyd, unjustifiably about a month before. And I forget his name because it wasn't publicized constantly every day like George Floyd, and he wasn't made into being a hero. But in fact, we don't even know his name, do you? Do we know one name of one white person who was killed by police, even though more white people are killed by police? No, you don't. You don't know of any of them. Think about that for a minute. And I have an excuse for not being successful. I'm schizoaffective, and I'm barred from owning a handgun or a gun in general. And I can't deal with a lot of stress, but I do the best I can. I work part time, I pay my bills. I get heat from some conservatives for being on disability, but I'm doing the best I can. The people at my church love me. Went to the Knights of Columbus picnic yesterday, helped set up, helped tear down. I do volunteer work for charity too, despite despite the fact that the media badmouths conservatives all the fucking time. Actually, conservatives do more to help the poor out of their own pocket than rich liberals mostly. Rich liberals just bitch. They should tax the rich, just like until it's them, and then like Whoopi Goldberg realized, holy cow, I make 400 some $1,000 a year. I'm one of the rich. I shouldn't be taxed. Tax the other guy. Take their money. The other thing is they keep redefining poverty. I know a lot of people on disability, on SSI, who've hardly worked a day in their fucking life. They have enough to eat. They smoke pot. They have a cell phone. Some of them, some people on complete welfare even own cars, but yet they're labeled as poor. Is that poor compared to people in Ecuador, Guatemala? And if our country's so racist, why are all these people of color clamoring to get in? People from Haiti, they're black. People from Africa, they're black. People from Guatemala and Ecuador. My friend from Ecuador that I work with said, in Ecuador, in the US, you have a kid, they take care of you for life. Not for life, but for a long time. They take care of you and your kid. So there's almost incentive for to be a single mom. He said in Ecuador, they don't do shit for you. They don't give you milk, which I'm beginning to think more conservatively. I'm beginning to think that maybe if it was totally free market, I wouldn't have to pay any. Well, I really don't pay any taxes anyway. But if it was free market, maybe the economy would be even better and I could get a higher paying job. And if we broke up some, I don't know. I'm not, but I do know something needs to be done about healthcare because I would actually like to be busier and work full time. But I have medical needs that are very expensive that I can't afford to pay for. And most of the jobs I get, I can't I can't get good enough insurance to make ends meet. And I did move into a more expensive apartment. And my parents helped me out, and I'm grateful for that. But but I had to because basically, if you don't pay to live in a decent apartment, what happens is you live in the slums with homeless and meth heads and stuff, and they see you have nice shit, and they want it because they're not willing to work for it, and most of them have alienated their families because they've stolen from them, and they're and treated them like crap. So when they see that you have a large screen TV and a couple computers and maybe a mountain bike and nice shit, nice clothes, they think, "Oh, a Mark, we need to steal his shit because it's not fair that he has it, even though I get a check from the government, but I spend all my money on meth and heroin or whatever, or alcohol and gambling. It's not fair. The government should pay for me to gamble and pay for me to do drugs." Well, that's all. That's my 2 cents. Yes, the media is of the devil. It's totally biased. Uh, like I said, I think in my last thing, Biden bumbles and stumbles when he speaks and misspeaks, and they'll just note it in passing real quick. If Trump did the same thing, they'd be talking about it for a half hour after he was on. And he was acquitted of collusion with Russia, but all that was fucking on TV was that. And there's a whole mess of shit going on if you watch it on the interview of senators questioning nominees and stuff, and they're evading questions and not answering the questions because they know it would incriminate them or show them in an unfavorable light, and they don't answer the questions, but the media never shows it. Only if you look it up, like Ted Cruz's feed or some of their feeds, some of the conservative feeds, the mainstream media doesn't show it. The mainstream media is the Democratic Party, Facebook. I got off Facebook. I boycotted Facebook. I boycotted the NFL. I'm never watching the NFL again. I don't even watch college football. Fuck them. Spoiled fucking babies. I remember watching this thing on this basketball player who was supposedly oppressed because everybody loved him for his basketball playing ability and not for who he was. And people were giving him money and basically letting the colleges were getting women to be his sex slaves to sign him up. And boy, if that's oppression, give me some of that. Give me some of that. I'd like to have women just knocking at my door when I was 18, 19, wanting to have sex with me, gorgeous women, people giving me money. That's oppression. If that's oppression, LeBron James is oppressed. He's a multi-millionaire. He's oppressed though. He's an oppressed minority. And I'm a victimizer, even though I live in South Omaha in a working class neighborhood. I'm the oppressor. I'm an oppressor, even though just because I'm white and I'm schizophrenic and on disability, but I'm in the oppressor class. But I'm sorry, I got to get back to oppressing minorities and women. My day is very filled with oppressing minorities and women.